Welcome back to a Battlefield 2042 video, where I can confidently say I was wrong. Or more accurately, should I say, my mind has changed. Because last week I tried out the new mode, Control, for the first time, and I didn't really like it all too much. For reasons that I do still stand by to an extent, but my view has shifted a little bit after playing it, after I've come back from a little break, and also playing it in week 2. A couple things have made the mode more enjoyable for me. One is taking that break and allowing people to acclimatise to the mode, resulting in a bit of a more coherent experience. 2 is the aim changes that have been put in this week, and 3 are the balance changes to the mode in terms of stealth helos. So let's go through what will be my final thoughts on Control as a mode, including its gameplay elements, balancing, cosmetics, and overall experience. But before we can do all that, we need to talk about the sponsor of today's video, which is even more important. Today's sponsor is Babbel. Babbel is a language learning app that teaches you to speak, read, and listen in new languages. It provides tools for real-world conversations, including lessons, games, podcasts, videos, and live online classes with expert teachers called Babbel Live. Whether you want to become fluent or learn a few phrases for your next vacation, Babbel has you covered. For me personally, I dropped Spanish as soon as I could in school, but with Babbel, I can pick it straight back up where I left off, which is at a very, very basic level of saying hola and adios. But through Babbel, you can have fake conversations with people who are pretending to be your friends, like Juan here, and teach yourself valuable skills. Whether you just need to go on a trip and explore new cultures and talk to people in new countries, or connect with loved ones who speak a different language to you, or talk to people in the workplace and advance your career, Babbel is scientifically proven to help you start speaking a new language in just 3 weeks. With lessons that are designed by real language teachers, and various subscription tiers to choose from, including a lifetime subscription. And if you don't like it, Babbel offers a 20-day money-back guarantee. To get Babbel, just click the link below, and when you use my link, you can get up to 60% off, so click the link below and start learning a new language today. Thank you once again to Babbel for sponsoring today's video. With that being said, let's get straight into it. First of all, let's get rid of one of the only negatives that I still have, and that is vehicles. Overall, the late game of Control becomes a complete mess with so many vehicles on the same point, and it's constant death for any infantry player. I still do stand by that. I do think it's a bit of a mess as you get later on, but there has been some balancing to stealth helos that I'll talk about in a bit that's made it slightly better. But still, on all the maps that have been put in rotation, apart from Orbital, I find it kind of insufferable later on. Anyway, with that out of the way, let's dive straight in to what I think finally of the new mode. First of all, taking that break has really allowed people to settle in and realise how to play it properly. On the first day, as it always is with new maps or modes, it was incredibly rough with people still figuring out what the mode was all about, what the vehicle requisitions, the new points, and the shifting battlefield really meant and how to play it properly. Now coming back a week later, I feel everything flows a lot better, mostly because the player base know what they're doing. And that's me included. I was running around a bit recklessly last week, and I didn't really appreciate the nuances of the mode as much as I should have, and that resulted in a very hectic gameplay experience that was maybe a little too hectic and that I didn't enjoy 50% of the time. Now I can say I really enjoyed the mode up until the last maybe 100 tickets where it gets a little much for me. But overall, thumbs up. Next up is the aim changes made in update 5.1.1. This has made it so much better for me to play the mode and actually enjoy it because I can aim so much better than I used to in the last couple of weeks. This applies only for controller and console players, as our aim assist and aim sensitivity was completely broken for the last couple of weeks, but it's been resolved now and I feel like I've just got my fingers back after not having them for 3 weeks. It's made it so I can viably attack people in this mode without the fear of my aim assist not working or my sensitivity feeling awful. Thank God this is fixed, it's made it so much more enjoyable and made my performances so much more consistent. That's one big reason that I've enjoyed coming back to it more, especially after the fix and giving it some time in between, because the game feels fresh in terms of its gunplay and shooting again, because I can actually aim. That's probably a very silly thing to say about a game that's a first-person shooter. Of course the aiming should work, but when it doesn't and you go like that for weeks, once you get that shooting back, you feel like you're a god, and it's so good to have it back. I've also got to talk about a 4th map being put in rotation. This is a big W for all of us asking for a new map rotation. We didn't get an entirely new map rotation, but we did get an additional map in week 2, and that helps spice up the gameplay a bit. Obviously there's no way of choosing which map you go onto, so you can't just play the new one that's been put in over and over again. So there's a chance you might not get it for maybe 3 or 4 matches, but if you do, it does spice up the gameplay a little bit compared to last week. And this is something we've asked for quite a while. So thumbs up there. That's made it a lot more enjoyable coming back for the second week running of the same event and mode. I also think I prefer the second week's cosmetics over the first's. Overall, the art style isn't as appealing to me as the previous events, but the actual quality of the cosmetics in terms of texture work and detail is very, very high. I prefer the gun skins, they look pretty great, but overall, yeah, it's not been as strong as other seasons in terms of cosmetic design for this Archangel unit, but I know a lot of people do like it. I'm just not a fan of the weird masks. But overall, yeah, pretty solid, but not my favourite of their work. Finally, let's talk about balance, because there's actually been a bit of a change. Last week, if you wanted to jump in a helicopter at the end of the game, you could get a stealth helo and farm the entire map for ages, and if you died, you could probably go get another one by the time the game ended. Especially on bigger maps like Orbital, you can have 2 helos at one time, meaning you could have 2 stealth helos running around on each team, bombing the hell out of everyone on the ground and making life a living hell for infantry. Now, the price has been upped by a fair bit to 170 points, meaning you have to pay your points through the cooling system and maybe only get access to 1 helo throughout an entire match instead of 2. DICE were pretty quick to respond to feedback with this change, so big thumbs up from me there too. And I guess my final notes for this mode really are the system itself for cooling in. It's such a genius implementation of the cooling system and the vehicle system that I kind of want it in the full game, or at least have it as an option for Portal experiences. Of course, you don't want to go messing with the balance you've already created for maps by throwing in this point system for players to cap objectives, earn points and call in vehicles. As much as I'd love that, DICE have probably thought it through and felt that it's not really easy or good to implement it into the full game. I understand that, but it would be great to have this Ascension point system as an option, so if you made a Portal server, you could decide to have that option in there to allow people to earn points through kills and objectives to then call in vehicles. That would be great. If you don't want to mess with your main game's balance, let us do it ourselves in our own servers. But its implementation in this mode is pretty thought through, and you can tell. Aside from that 1 stealth helo price, everything else is priced pretty fairly, and although I feel like there's too many vehicles on the battlefield in one time, the actual implementation of the points I can't really fault at all after the stealth helo change has been made. And earning points and feeling rewarded by calling in a vehicle after you've gotten a certain number of kills or caps, it's a good feeling, it's a good loop, and I want to see it elsewhere. As I say with all of these modes, I want them added to Portal. I want to be able to play Control on a server whenever I want. This hasn't happened yet for Shutdown that was in the game previously, and I doubt it will happen for Control, but a man can dream, and I really wish this would happen. Overall, the game is feeling a lot more balanced, and the mode itself is feeling a lot more balanced after these changes and my little break from it, and I'm enjoying Control a lot. Please do let me know what you think in the comments below of it. In my last video, most people were overwhelmingly positive about the mode, and I do kind of understand that a lot more now. I'm glad I've given it some time to sit, and my initial thoughts have shifted to a far more positive tone, and I'm really happy about that. Anyway, thank you all for watching. If you did enjoy, feel free to like and subscribe. If you want to come talk to me or anybody else that loves this game, head over to the NoSalt Discord. The link is in the description below, and I'll catch you in the next one.